There's a strange moment that happens quietly. You're doing everything you're supposed to do. Working, budgeting, being careful, and showing up. Then you look around, and it feels like other people are moving faster than you. Not sprinting, not rushing, but gliding. Buying homes, traveling, upgrading their lifestyle, taking risks that you can't even imagine taking. Same country, same economy, and same calendar year. Completely different experiences. This episode is about that split. The two-speed economy and what it feels like to live on the slower side of it. This doesn't feel like old school inequality. It doesn't feel like haves and haves not. It feels more subtle than that. It feels like people with a buffer and people without a buffer. Two players, same level, but different gear. One mistake is survivable for one and catastrophic for the other. That's the real divide. Buffer changes everything. Savings, family support, home equities, paid off debt, predictable healthcare. With buffer, life feels flexible. Without buffer, life feels fragile. Two people can earn similar incomes and live in completely different realities, all based on what happens after the paycheck arrives. This isn't about luxury, it's about margin. Here's the tricky part. The fast lane doesn't look fast. People with buffer don't feel rich, they feel calm. They can take a job risk. They can move cities. They can say no. To them, this feels normal. To everyone else, it feels impossible. That's why the divide causes such resentment, not because of jealousy, but because of misunderstanding. This is where the system gets cruel. The rules appear the same for everyone. Work hard, save, invest, take opportunities. But the consequences of mistakes are widely different. Miss a paycheck with a buffer? It's annoying. Miss a paycheck without a buffer? It can be devastating. It's like playing on different difficulty settings without ever being told. The slow lane doesn't feel slow because people aren't trying. It feels slow because everything requires caution. You don't take risks, you don't experiment, and you don't move freely. Rather, you calculate, you wait, and you brace. Progress exists, but it's fragile. One unexpected hit resets months of effort. That's not laziness. That's living in survival mode. Living in the slow lane changes how you think. You stop dreaming big. You stop planning long term. You stop trusting momentum. You think in weeks rather than years. Meanwhile, the fast lane plans in decades. This creates two cultures in the same society: builders and stabilizers. Neither is wrong, but they don't speak the same language anymore. This is where friction explodes. Just invest. Just buy earlier. Just take risks. Just move. That advice assumes buffer. Without buffer, those moves feel reckless. So advice meant to help lands like judgment. Not because it's evil or misguided, but because its context is blind. Here's the uncomfortable truth. The fast lane benefits from the slow lane. Stable workers, reliable renters, cautious consumers, risk absorbers. The system quietly depends on people who can't afford to fail. Unfortunately, this is not conspiracy, it's structure. Inequality always existed, but this split feels sharper because the middle lost its buffer. What used to be one wide road became two narrow paths. And falling from the fast lane to the slow lane is now easier than ever. So everyone feels tense, even people moving quickly. Most people aren't asking to be in the fast lane. They just want a cushion, a second chance, some room to breathe, and the ability to recover. They want one mistake, not to define the rest of their lives. That's not entitlement, that's humanity. If you feel like life is harder than it should be, it's not because you're slow. You're navigating a different lane. And once you see the two-speed economy clearly, you stop blaming yourself for not keeping pace with people playing on a completely different version of the game. The goal isn't to shame the fast lane or to glorify the grind. It's to ask a better question. Why did we design a world where safety itself became a luxury? Remember, stay thoughtful, stay stubborn, and don't confuse speed with worth.